realizes one's potential for self-actualization. The mimetic psychology of Tai Chi boxing reveals potential through the use of integrating kinetic and cognitive exercises that perform upward conditioning to the extent that practical sets are created. The adept embraces the opportunity to develop these sets because of the increased locus of control they are manifesting. The manifestation comes from a control of emotion. And emotion is the conduit that merges the power of human potential with the potential of heaven and earth. Heaven and earth are conceptually described as universal behaviors that embody the infinite passive yin and active yang potential, respectively. Humans can develop the capacity to harness this potential through the discipline of Tai Chi boxing. This can be done through developing practical sets that allow the adept to progress through the hierarchical stages of needs that influence the adept on a cognitive, affect, and kinetic level. These practical sets are stacked or paired to oppose each other in cultivating potential when perceived in a dualistic manner. But when viewed in a holistic manner, the pairing is seen as an opportunity to see the unification of opposites and to achieve balance. In this context, balance is a process of identifying one's essential nature through refinement and cultivation. The prospect of balance and the awareness of all things bring about a quality of congruence on the physical, mental, and attitudinal levels of behavior. The adept is on the path of transcendence of an avatar. They are in the flow. As Wu states, the civil quality is the substance. The martial quality is the application. The civil training within the martial application is the matter of the essence, energy, and spirit. The civil quality is the inner principle. The martial quality is the outward skill. Those who have the outward skill but lack the civil principle will be consumed by reckless glory, discarding the original purpose of the art. They will try to overpower opponents and inevitably they will lose. Those on the other hand who have the civil principle but lack the outward skill will be distracted by meditative expectation. They will have no idea what to do in a fight, and they will be destroyed in the moment. To apply this art upon an opponent, you must understand both the civil and the martial qualities. Again, this is Wu Kong Sao, speaking from the gold. Tai Chi boxing practices are a process that eventually eliminates tension between self-doubt and projected expectation. Psychologically, this would be assessed as the integrated application of positive and negative reinforcement strategies. Exercises and regimens practiced at each stage would produce a cognitive, kinetic, and affect behavior that the practitioner or adept would call being in the zone, being in the flow. As the adept progresses from one stage to the next, the flow becomes a conscious and unconscious phenomenon. Martial thinking and emotional expression when performing non-martial skills. Later, when I was not practicing, where I was just sitting, standing, or walking inside, I was still using the breathing for boxing practice. My body, while walking, could still produce it, could still process it. Later on, it happened even when I was sleeping. There would be a sudden stirring within, which immediately woke me up. I again used the breathing from practicing boxing to absorb it. Wu Kong Sao states this, and he adds, when the adept is preparing to enter the level of self-actualization, the refinement and cultivation of these expressions become the focus of reality. Zhu Yushan's insights of Wang Zongyu's and Li Lui's treatise is valuable to the adept. He identifies that the first four dynamics are applied as merging methods that are rooted in passive yin energy by intercepting, blocking, and swallowing. This makes these dynamics work better for the stillness with a concentrated spirit or attention on the collapsing point that transforms the physical posture to posture, mental focus on nowness, and emotional will to begin, end, action, and intent of ideation center. The next four dynamics are rooted in the active yang energy by dividing and dispersing, parrying. This makes these dynamics function better from motions executed with the substantial and insubstantial weighting of the body. Although calmness of mind and continuous breathing is a prerequisite for success, for active passive generation of force, it is the unified agility and intrinsic strength that is the foundation for active aspects of force. Earth forces are static and sky forces are dynamic. Will and intent are the forces of man. As such, the forces of man must always be directed at harmonizing forces of heaven and earth, or as they say, earth and sky. When the forces of earth and sky are fused together at the center, Tantian, there is a stillness, Uji, immovable object type of thinking. And when they are separated at the center, there is an irresistible force of motion, Tai Chi Ch'uan. It is the contention of this author that every technical and energy expression in Tai Chi boxing radiates from this center. Quote, "The sky and the ground are fixed, and the two polarities are separated. When wielding power, you must understand emptiness and fullness. When he is hard, neutralizing. This is called dividing, creating components of force. Once he is soft, defend against him. This is called merging or making use of the net force. The ground is in a state of stillness, seeking movement. It has an end, but no beginning, and we must submit to it. The sky is in a state of movement, seeking stillness. It has a beginning, but no end, and the only thing to do is to return to emptiness. The adept must adapt to the situation and act accordingly, being neither stubborn nor egotistical, for it depends on the proper coming from the opponent. Making centeredness your priority. Engage by sticking, adhering, connecting, and following, staying always with the opponent. As it says, a gentleman always stays centered." Master Ru Kung Sao says, "Nothingness generates somethingness. Somethingness generates everythingness. And everythingness generates the dual aspects. The dual aspects generate the three distinctions. The three distinctions generate the four manifestations. The four manifestations generate the five elements. The five elements generates the six arteries. The six arteries generate the seven ingenuities, and the seven ingenuities generate the 8 trigrams. Since the theory is limitless in scope, the most important thing in learning the art is sincerity. Over the course of years, do not get distracted. Instead, stay intent upon it and keep your spirit concentrated. Begin by learning from a teacher who is enlightened, whether without or within. Then continue by seeking out colleagues who excel. With both guidance and encouragement, step by step, you will start to understand. After peeling away one layer, delve deeper and find another, layer upon layer, on and on, forever. One level starts up where another is left off, beginning and finishing, trading places with each other. It draws me in and captivates me so, even if I wanted to quit, I could not. The better you seem to be getting, the more you need to work at it. One day, your mind will awaken, and suddenly, all will become clear. This is an Elder Beast Press and instructional systems promotional video. The music in the background comes from Tracks for Me and my friend Justin Watkins. We are supported by Tai Chi Connection, by the World Martial Arts College, Deepwater Magazine, and of course, Temple Underground Magazine and Radio. Thank you for viewing.